Okay, this was the original one that I've used to give you a bit of a demonstration as to how to make your own heat tower, obviously, or temperature tower. That's obviously way too big. That's the actual production version. That's the size that I actually will be using. And I've shrunk it down a bit on the side. I've put a half dome on it, little square on the side, put the triangle on the far side that I said I would. And it's actually got a pretty good benefit about it. If we come through, and I'll sort of move through slowly, you'll see there's a bit of filament laying inside, and then as we go across, all of a sudden it stops. Where it stops, which is on this level here, which is was it 210, and as we go through, stringing starts in this range, so we get stringing above 210. Below 210 the layers don't fall properly, as you can sort of see. They're sort of laying on the side here a little bit. So that's the temperature range for this particular filament. So 210, 205, that's the range definitely. And yeah, if you want this little temperature tower, you can either make your own, or if you're after this particular one that I've got in my hand, I'm quite happy to send you the G-code. Just let me know in the comments below, and I'll send the link to you. Let's get started. I'm using Blender 2.76b, so we right click on the little camera over here, hit delete on your keypad and get rid of it. Do the same with the light source in the back, we don't require it. Now we're going to zoom in on this little cube, so we can press number 3 on your keypad just to bring it in nicely. Go from object mode to edit mode down the bottom here. Obviously select the object you want first and then select edit down here, or you can just simply hit the tab key, which tabs you in between the two. Now we want the edit mode, as I say, most definitely. We're going to be looping and slicing, so Control R is a shortcut on the keypad which does it, and that'll do nicely for me. So I think we'll go to about that thickness. Now bear in mind I'm actually designing this as I go along, so I may hesitate occasionally while I'm trying to work out what I want to do, but we'll get there in the end. Okay, that'll do to there. Now we want a platform on the bottom, so again Control R. That's basically all we'd be doing for a few seconds now. Give or take about that'll do, and again Control R. We'll pop one up the top here, and up she goes. That'll do. Okay, now we will get rid of the face, so we select face down the bottom here. I'm going to delete that one, I don't need it. So scroll down to face, get rid of it, that'll do. On the side here, going to need a few things. So that's the number 1 key on your keypad, and that'll lock you into this space. Again, we're going to do Control and R, just simply loop and cut. We'll do that one, and give ourselves a probably that amount will do there. Again, same thing, Control R, pop him on the other side, and I want a little bit wider there, probably that'll do. Okay, now we're still in the face mode down here. We want to get rid of that one, delete it, and I'll get rid of that one in the back, delete it, and I'm going to do the same on that one, and I'm going to do the same on that one, and that one. Get rid of that one as well, and that one. Oops, we don't want the top one gone, we want to leave that one. Come on, play fair. Delete and delete. Okay, that'll do nicely for a start. Now we need to close up the box down the bottom here, so we go to edge, right click on the edge, we go around, and basically just close it up. I suppose I could just press F1, so not F1, press the 1 on the keypad and then press the 5 to actually bring it into perspective a bit easier. Press Z to make it transparent, C to sort of make selection a bit easier, and then we're going to go hold down the shift and right click the ones we want to get rid of, which are those there. Oops, that one we don't want that. Ah, come on. Play fair. Play fair. We don't need these ones. But we do need that one, and we need that one. That'll do. Then press F, and it looks like I had a edge selected which I didn't notice, so I'll get rid of that one and press F again. Okay, that closes off the box nicely. Yep, that'll do. Okay, now on the back here we're going to probably select that edge, that edge, and that edge. Press F, that'll close off that. Do the same on the other side. We're just going to get those ones, and again F, that'll do nice there. And again select the edges, got the ones we want, that'll do. Press F. Okay, that's closed off that quite nicely. Now, that'll do for there for the moment. What I need to do is use the knife, it looks like, and slice across here. So you just simply we'll position it so I can actually see it perhaps. Press K, right click, drag across to the other side, press the left button, drag it out a little bit more and press enter, and that now pops in a nice little line there. You can see we're not lined up with the vertices here, so I do want them aligned, so we want to go to vertices. We'll select that one, and we select the alternate M to merge them. We'll go to the first one there, just pull it back a little bit, doesn't really matter where. On the far side we've got two vertices over here as well, so I want those ones selected. Maybe I don't have two vertices. No, I don't. Oh, well, that's handy. I thought I did. Not to worry. Well, we won't have to worry about that. Okay, now let's have a look here. Need to create another little box in here. Okay, so again we use the knife tool. Just select from there. Oh, it's on the vertex. Up we go. Give or take to there will do. Just press select, go the other side, same thing, just K for the knife tool, select that vertex into that one, select, done. Okay, now we're going to move this around a bit, and we're going to select those faces. We need that one, and that one. We're just simply going to extrude them upwards. Okay, extrude region, pull it up, and we'll press the number 1 on the keypad so we've got an idea of where it is. Probably, yeah, that'll do. Okay, now we're going to do our little favourite Control R again, and sticking that way, just stick it into about there will do. Let's have a look. Maybe up a tad higher. Yep, that'll do. Okay, select faces. Get rid of that one, we don't need it. That one at the back there, delete it as well, get rid of it. That will do. Now we need to close up this box, so we're going to use the edge. Select that edge, shift, forward edge, press F, that closes it off. Going to do the same all the way around, and F, lock that up. Same on the top there. Press F, and on this side here, that one, and the one at the bottom there, F, closes that off nicely. There's a nice little platform that we can have a play with. Let's see what else we need. What else do we need? We need probably a couple of little cones popped in this area here, so we'll get onto that in a sec. Okay, we need to add a couple of little cones in here. So we go from edit mode down the bottom here, again just press tab, up to the top, we select cone, and that'll do nicely. It's a little bit on the large size, but we'll shrink it down in a second. Okay, that'll do. Just F1. I keep calling it F1. It's F. No, it's the 1 key on the number pad. I'll get it right eventually, so bear with me. Okay, we go back over here to scale, and we'll drop him down to, I don't know, about that'll do. Drop him down, give or take there, drag it across again. Doesn't really matter where we put it at the moment. We just need to have a look. Okay. Yep, that'll do. Okay, hit the tab key back into edit mode, and we want vertices. We want the top vertices selected, and just drag it up. And that'll be pretty well done there. Okay, back to hitting tab, move it across a little bit more, and this time we're going to duplicate it and drag it across, and we'll probably poke it, I don't know, give or take there. Yeah, it looks a good spot, that'll do. Okay, now I've got a couple of little points there, so it's starting to look nice. That'll be a stringing test in here obviously, so we'll see how that goes, and a little bit of bridging on the top there to see how she handles the different temperatures. So what we've got to do now obviously is we've got to join this to the main body, which is what we're going to do next. Okay, now we're going to select the little spanner up here, click add modifier, boolean, and we're going to have a union this time. Select cone and apply. So that's nicely done. Now I'll drag this down a little bit more up the top here. Now again we go back to the cube on the top, we select add modifier, boolean, we want to again have a union, and we want to select cone 01. Select apply, and as we move this away you can see we now have the cones attached to the model we've created. Okay, we'll press number 1 again, get it in position. This time we're going to add some text. Make certain you're in object mode, select add, there's the text there, click it, and as you can see text has miraculously appeared. We'll drag it across to the other side for the moment, and we need to do some rotation, so again just press 1, let's try 3, see if I can get the orientation the way I want it. Looks like 1 will be it. Okay, we rotate, and we're up to about 90 degree mark, so just hit it anywhere there, type in 90, press enter, and that type in 90 and press enter. That's better, but that's a minus 90 looking at that. I tell you, things are fun and games, aren't they? Okay, let's go back again to the 90, and we will try a minus 90. Try minus 90 this time. Okay, that's better. Now I'm going to rotate this again, so we'll set ourselves number 3, and we're just pressing the 6 key till we can rotate around, and that'll do nicely there. And again we just simply hit rotate, and we'll drop him down to where we want it, give or take there, and again type in 90, and there we go, that's better. Now we drag this across into position. Now you'll notice it says text. Oh, that's no good, is it? We need to change the text to something else, so we need to go from the object mode in the bottom here to edit mode, and you'll notice we've got a little bar that's popped up here, so if you now hit your backspace you can now edit to what you want. So we've got 190 degrees, which is what I want, and I wish to obviously position it a little bit better than where it is. Move the numbers around, we need to go back to object mode, and we'll just simply pop it, give or take, where we think it looks about right. I think, yeah, that'll be okay. And we'll drag it over a little bit closer now. Before we go much further than this, what I strongly suggest is that you actually save your work. So make certain you go up and save it. Otherwise, what will happen once you continue here and you emboss this number into this cube, when you duplicate the cube, you've got a number in it, and that's not what you want. You want a blank cube so you can put numbers as you progress up, and we will be having 7 of these stacked on top of each other. So let's duplicate the cube. Make certain we're in object mode, hit duplicate, and we will pull it up. So we've got a cube up here to play with later. Okay, and at this point again, always pays to save as you progress, and that way if you make a mistake you can always come back. Now we need to select the text, and we use alternate and C. We want the mesh from the curve there. Now believe it or not, it's just been transformed I should say, into a mesh. You go to your object mode in the bottom here to edit mode, and scroll in, and there you go, you can see it. So what we will do is we will select mesh from the bottom, we'll select one of them and select C, and we'll just go along and select the whole lot. So everything is physically selected. Now you notice that it's not picking up on everything, and that's a funny thing with Blender. Yet if you go and press Z to make it transparent, all of a sudden, actually I've got to go back in there, press Z again and press C to go back again, you'll notice that we're picking up all those little faces that we missed earlier. Okay, so we've got them all now. Right click, back to Z to transform. We'll just sort of pull it sideways so you can see, and what we'll do now is extrude it. So we're in edit mode, extrude, we'll just bring it out a little bit, doesn't have to be too far, that'll do for the moment. And basically we need to pull this back into the block, and we just press tab again, drag it back in a bit, whatever, doesn't matter, whatever depth you feel like. Once we've got it happily in there, we go back, select cube on the top here, go to add modifier, boolean, change from intersect to union, actually not union, to difference. Select text at this point and click apply. Now as we move this aside, we've got the holes cut, so there you go, that's all there is to it. And yeah, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Okay, and at this stage we don't need the text anymore, so simply right click that, hit delete, get rid of it. I will duplicate the box on the top here, and we'll just simply call it duplicate, and we'll drop it down. I'm sure you really don't want to watch me go through this process 7 times, so what I'll do is I'll finish off the tower and then come back at the very last stage and let you have a look at it. Now the tower is nearly completed. What I've done is delete the top and bottom face of the actual cubes. Now to join the two together, we go into object mode. Now you have to select with shift button top and bottom, and then come over and select join. Now they're one part. We go now to edit, and what I've done is select edge. We go that edge, bottom edge, and just simply fill it and go all the way around. And then once we've done that, we then come along and squish it. When I say squish it, I mean just simply grab the arrow and pull it down, and just line them up nicely, and export as an STL, and yep, we're home and hosed, as they say. Now there's the tower all closed up, and what I'm thinking, I might punch a couple of holes through it. That'll make it a little bit easier to see if there's distortion when the tower is being printed, and help you decide which temperature to print at. So quite a simple process. Again, all we do is just simply go to cylinder. Now the cylinder itself, I want to rotate it, so we'll press number 3 on the keyboard, rotate, so we want a 90-degree rotation. Just type 90 down there, hit enter. We obviously need to rescale or resize, so we'll bring that in. We might press 1, bring it around a bit, that's better. Slide this across, that's a bit easier to see now when we're scaling, and we'll scale down. Probably, yeah, that sort of size, that'll do nicely. Back to pressing number 3. We're going to become transparent for the moment. I'll just bring that in a little bit. Might actually extend that a bit further perhaps inside. So I'll rotate, hit tab, select face, we want the end face, and we're just simply going to go back to number 3. Didn't get the right face. Rotate a little bit again, and we'll select it. That's the one. Okay, back to number 3. We'll drag that through a bit. Yeah, I don't know where that'll do. And I'll punch some holes through. So that should be quite interesting. So back to hitting tab, and make certain we've got the cylinder selected. Oh, sorry, not the cylinder. Geez, the actual tower. And again, we're going to add modifier, Boolean, and difference, and select the cylinder, apply, and we've now cut a hole, as you can see. And I'll do the same all the way through. I'll go along and cut them for the full length. Okay, this is the tower. This is the one that I've actually printed out, and I've decided to modify it a bit more, so this is where the fun part comes when you're playing with Blender. What I've decided to do is put a little sphere in here, a little square on this side, and I'll put a little hole in this side here so that we can actually see right through it. And it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I'll just press number 1 to get us into where we want, and over on the side here we just click on icosphere. We'll just sort of move him across a bit so you can see where it is. We'll just bring that down, obviously a bit on the large side at the moment, but we'll play with that shortly. We need another cube, so we'll grab a cube, actually bring it down. I might use a second cube. We'll use 2 of them. Okay, there's a second cube. You notice that over here we've got all the necessary things popping up, the names. So we'll go back to the little sphere, and we will now scale it, obviously down a bit, and let's have a bit of a look here. We're sort of behind, so press F1, and again we're just pressing the 6 key to position it around so we can drag it to where we want. We want one over here. We'll bring the cube, we'll bring it over as well because we'll be needing that, and the other cube we'll drag it down, and you select them simply by hitting the right mouse button. Now let's get back, pressing number 1 again, and we're going to bring the cube over to give or take there. Might scale it down a little bit more, that'll do. Position it to where we want him, that'll do for the moment. Now the little cube, we'll simply do the same thing. We'll scale it down a tad, and I'll move it across to this position, and again we're just pressing the number 6 key so we can drag it to where we want him, up the front here somewhere, and we're pressing the number 3 key at the moment, and we're going to bring it into alignment so it's actually touching the side of the tower itself. While we're here, might as well move the other one across to the other side because we'll be needing that as well. I'm just rotating with the mouse at the moment. Select that little box, we'll bring him in position here. Obviously way too big, so again we'll scale it down a tad, probably about that'll do, and just simply position them where you want. That's good enough for the moment. Whoa, I just noticed we're on the wrong side. Look at that there, we got to bring that down a tad. Come on, down. Down, down, down. And I might go wireframe, press Z, that's better. And obviously this is way too big again, so we'll scale down a tad more to about, I'll give or take that. Slide it there. Yeah, the square will move him across. Might shrink it down a bit more, scale it down a tad more. Yep, that's not bad. The other one, we'll just bring it up a little bit for the moment. We're going to have a play with that shortly. Oh, I might as well do it now, why not? Press the Z, and number 3, yep, okay, and again we're just pressing the 6 key. You can also press the 4 key if you like, that takes it the other way. It's personal choice, whatever you like. I'm sort of used to doing things one way, so you kind of get used to it after a while. Now what we're going to do with this box, we're going out of object mode. We're going to now go to, by hitting the tab key, to edit mode. I want this little thing here selected, which is a cube. Cube 1, that's the original. Okay, Z to make it transparent. We're going to make certain that we are in edit mode, down here, edit mode, and we're going to select the vertices again, so we make certain we've got vertices selected. Click up here, press C, that selects all of them, and I'm just going to probably do the other side as well, so C on there as well, and across, so we want to bring that down a tad. Okay. Press Z just so I can see where I am. Okay, now I'm going back to object mode, just moving it across a little bit more to about there, drag it down a bit, and that'll do. Okay, back to edit mode, which is again just simply hitting the tab key, pressing Z. We're still in vertices, so we're selecting all of those. We're just going to drag that across. No, we won't. Whoops. Control Z. I want to select them all, so here we go. That's it. We want to drag that across. So we're sort of, yeah, we want that there. So you actually, if we zoom in, you can see I've actually put the line across the actual numbers there, so you can actually see through them as well. Now we're going to select the vertices on this side, just press C, drag that across to about yay, and we can select the other vertices on the other side as well, C, and we just simply drag them down a bit, and that'll do. I'll tidy this up a little bit later. Just go C again up there. That's the advantage of designing your own things. You can modify them the way you want. Now we go back to object mode, which is pressing the tab, and we can see that that's coming through. Now we can see that that hasn't gone right through, it hasn't dissected the circle here, so I want to bring that in a bit more, so I'll just drag that in a bit more there, and we can see the vertice on the back here isn't good, so we go back to tab back to edit mode, and I'll just drag that down a little bit more, pressing 1 to line it up, just drag him down, so yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, back to our wonderful little object mode again, and this time we're going to do add modifier, boolean. We're going to again have the difference. Whoops, sorry, got to have temperature selected first. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Okay, so we've got temperature selected, back to boolean, intersect difference, and this time we're going to select cube and click apply. Now that's now cut the hole through there. Now the other side, what we want here is we want these, the square and the sphere, we want them to become attached. So this time we still have the temperature tower selected, we go add modifier, Boolean. This time we're going to do a union, and we're going to go cube 1 and apply. Do exactly the same thing again, except this time we're going to select the other cube. So a union again, and this time it's the icosphere. Okay, click apply, and that's it. Now we go back to full mode, we'll select the tower, and as I move it across, you can see we've now got a hole cut through, and we've got the other bits attached. And the only thing that's left now is, obviously we don't need these. Now you can actually hide them if you like, just simply by going over here and clicking the little eye, and that hides them. It just means you can modify and play around a bit later. Now the next thing I need to do is make this a bit bigger. I will sort this out, as I say, a little bit better. I think that is out a little bit too far. So we go to tab back into, come on, tab back into, there we go. Oh, I have a lot of fun doing this. We want the vertices again. Just select those couple there. I'll just drag that in a bit more. Oops, we missed one in the back. Control Z and press C again. I thought I had them all. Okay, we'll try again. Drag it in. There's still one in the back, doesn't matter, we'll just select it individually, drag it in. And there we go. Now, oops, I forgot to hit the right button. Okay, now we've got basically what we want. The tower, to my liking, is too narrow, so what we're going to do now is basically make it a bit more useful. So we're pressing the number 2 key, and just, oops, I've gone too far, back one. Press your number 5 to see where you're sitting. 5 puts you in full perspective. Again, we're in edit mode, we're just pressing the wonderful vertice, we're just selecting C again to select them all. This time we're just simply coming down, and oops, we don't want that down the bottom there. Go back again, C, and there we go, and we just drag that out a bit to give or take, well, about that'll do. On the other side, same thing, we just press C, just drag it down, get all those in, and we just drag that out to give or take about there will do. Z key to bring us back into full view, and there we go. We just have a bit of a quick look, and obviously I've got to run and do that on all the levels, and we'll have the final cube printed out, so you can compare the first tower compared to the second tower, the actual one I'll be using. It's a lot of fun playing with these things. You'll enjoy creating your own objects and playing with them. I use Blender simply because you can do a lot of modeling in it. You can create videos, you can do animation, heaps and heaps of things. It is lacking in measuring tools, which is a bit of a pain, but apart from that, brilliant, absolutely brilliant program, and it's free, and there's heaps of tutorials out there if you're interested in learning.
Thanks for watching.